The Mets get something done that we've been waiting for all season, as we talked about them and getting healthy, is they've gone through a 6-man rotation with all their pitchers, and everybody pitched really well. Wheeler, Harvey, you get all the way through this. Zellman, Matz, Lugo, and then DeGrom last night. A total of 4 earned runs through this rotation.
Yeah.
If they could just keep this group healthy, do you think this season can be turned around?
We'll see what happens with Yoenis Cespedes. I mean, the biggest question mark, obviously, for this team has been the starting pitching staff. That's how the team was built. They're hitting home runs right now. They're winning baseball games. Jacob deGrom gives you a great effort. And what's amazing to me, though, is so I pick up the paper like I do every morning, and I'm reading about why all of a sudden, after the last two starts where Jacob deGrom pretty much said he got his teeth kicked in, that it took this long for Dan Worthen to let him know that he's not using his changeup enough. Oh, Dan just let me know I'm only using it 4% of the time when usually when I'm successful, I use it 20% of the time.
Yeah.
Isn't that what your catcher is for?
Analytics.
No, but isn't that what your catcher's for?
Oh, absolutely. Isn't that what happens after games? Don't catchers generally talk to the starter like it's like before the game you have a game plan. After the game, then you do a review. Isn't that how it works, or am I
Or is
naive?
the pitching coach that like, hey, Travis, like he's not using his changeup. Let's get this thing figured out.
Yeah.
Right.
What are we doing?
Might want to think about mixing up your pitches, and it's crazy because Terry Collins praised Jacob deGrom for being able to do just that last night. I mean, he was able to establish the fastball and had good location and velocity, but it was the other pitches, right? It was the slider and it was the changeup. That's where you're going to get length. And I think if this Mets team can find a way to continue to get the kind of length out of their starting pitching that they got the last 6 games, being able to have a combined 41 and 2/3 innings, being able to have 26 strikeouts to only 14 walks, if you can get that kind of production, then you're going to be you're going to be right where you want to be. You got an opportunity to be 500 by the end of June. That's what the goal for the Mets should be. Now it's going to be easier said than done when you look at the upcoming opponents because you got the Cubs, you got the Nationals, you got the Dodgers. You're going to have to deal with those teams. But if your starting pitching can give you that kind of length,
right?
And Jay Bruce can continue to be who Jay Bruce is, going 3 for 3 last night and giving you a home run. As Drupal Cabrera can start swinging the bat like he did last night, give you the home run in the 2nd inning and the 4th inning. If you can get that kind of production in spots on the offensive side and get that kind of length from your starting pitching, you're going to go a long ways into being able to accomplish that goal of getting to 500 at the end of June.
But haven't we asked that question about the Mets? Hasn't that always been the question about the Mets going into this season is if they can stay healthy, if you can get these pitchers in a rotation where you see them all together for the first time. The numbers as it just gave you and Chris just gave you suggest that they could be a very dominant pitching staff. The problem is, of course, is they don't stay healthy.
No, they don't. And now it looks like Cespedes isn't healthy.
He said he doesn't expect to miss
That's what
any
he
time,
says
though.
now. But, I mean, it starts with your hamstring, then it goes to your quad, and now all of a sudden you got an issue with your heel. I mean, if you're not 100%, at some point we're going to need you at 100%. Like, we can't have an 80% Yoenis Cespedes. It's not going to happen. Like,
Right.
we need him to actually carry this lineup. And it's right in front of the Mets. Yeah, these are tough teams. Chicago Cubs have struggled. They're still the defending champions. And you're going to see the Nationals for 4 games. So you got a real opportunity here. And it obviously starts with the starting pitching. Cabrera was good last night. I mean, if we could get more of John Lackey just grooving fastballs right down the middle of the plate, we'll take it. Flores has been on fire since May 1st. Jay Bruce, good thing we didn't trade him. Conforto, we'll see what happens with his back. But it always seems like it's something.